And we are recording. Welcome, everyone. This is your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. This video is based on a suggestion by my friend and channel member, Beyond Fantasy. He said that it would be a good idea for me to make a video where I talk about fast world building in tabletop RPGs. Because sometimes, perhaps you are playing solo and you want to keep the pace, the flow up. Or maybe you are running things for your group and you want to keep on shaping the world. Perhaps you didn't prep enough. Or even though you still prepped, there are many things that sprang forth from the session: places, objects, spells, the background history of the characters, non player characters, player characters. And you want a speedy, agile way of generating the world dynamically so. So I'm going to share my tips with you. You could say I only have one very important tip, the only tip that you will need to build the world fast during the session. I recommend that you prepare for the session beforehand. But consider this: every single element in the game world is a source of world generation seeds. What do I mean by this? I could recommend tables, books for you to use. But sometimes you don't want to start rolling and rolling and rolling, or paging and paging and paging through the books, or scrolling up or down if you're using a PDF. You want to generate things quickly and that it makes sense with the fiction. Take a look at the characters, the sites, the structures, the spells, the weapons, items, all of it. Each one is connected to other places, to other people, to other objects. The characters find a magical sword. Describe the strange marks or sigils on the sword. And now you could ask yourself, what are those sigils, those symbols, those etchings? How are they related to the game world, to other places, to other people? Maybe it is the seal of a particular blacksmith, a weaponsmith. Maybe it's the sigil of a kingdom, of a long lost kingdom. And now you start to build the world just from that magical sword alone. Now you have ruins that are connected to that sword because that sword is connected to the ancient kingdom of who knows what. And now you know that the ruins of the ancient kingdom, who knows what, they are perhaps waiting for you to explore them. Perhaps if the player looks for information, researches information about those symbols, those marks on the sword, then he learns about the ancient ruins that are supposed to be located in the northeast. Or maybe he finds out about the blacksmith that is able to create powerful weapons, and you go and visit the blacksmith, and he tells you, "Oh, that is indeed one of my weapons, one of my creations." And he tells you that he is looking for a particular gemstone that is supposed to have magical powers, but it is hidden deep away in the dangerous peaks of Frostblight. And now the adventurers need to go to Frostblight to, if they want to be paid by the blacksmith, or perhaps commission the blacksmith to create a weapon with such a gem. Think about the spells. If you have some strange spell that levitates cities, who employs that spell? Who employed it? Perhaps it was a spell used long ago by an ancient archmage that has died. It would be a great idea to search for the tomb of that archmage. Perhaps you will find more powerful spells, because he used to employ such spells in the ancient war between the floating cities. Or maybe the mage has turned into a lich, and there is danger in that tomb. What about the background of the player characters? The wizards, the fighters. You have a fighter in the party, the game master. As you enter the city, you can see a signpost displaying the emblem of the renowned fighting school of sword and axe, Brown Shield. Well, that's a bit of a lame name, right? Mithril Shield. So now you have this school of Mithril Shield. They can visit it perhaps to obtain further training or as a fighter. Perhaps the fighter is engaged in combat with a knight that uses a fighting style quite similar to him. As a game master, communicate that through roleplay. As you exchange swings and thrusts, you notice that your adversary fights in a similar style to yours. And you could be thinking, perhaps the mentor of the fighter is one of the bad guys. He has been teaching the bad guys how to fight. Or if the fighter is self taught, why do they fight so similarly? And you discover that perhaps due to some sort of genetic trait, they move in the same way because they both belong to the same ancient clan or tribe of who knows what. The wizard, the cleric, everything can be developed, the spells, the background, the lore, the mythology. Think about how each of those elements connects to the game world, to other places, to other characters, to other weapons, to other spells. It's all about that. You don't need to make many rolls. You don't need to make any rolls at all if it suits your style. But if you want to world build quickly, make those connections immediately. How does that shield connect to other people, places, sites, regions, spells? How does that non-player character you just met connect to this city, to this clan, to this tribe, to this realm? Make those connections, offer those clues, communicate those clues through the dialogues between non-player characters or the dialogues that player characters have with non-player characters, or by when they research books, when they look at different posters, cartels. Well, in Spanish we call them rather cartel. It would be more like a poster, yeah, or through the use of a spell. There are many players that use psychic powers or spells to gain more information. So every single element in the fiction, in the campaign world, has connections to everything else. Perhaps not to all of it, but some connections. So you are no longer just entering those ruins that you encountered along the way through the forest by chance. Now those ruins are connected because you see that the architecture is in a style quite similar to an image that you saw when you were a child and you were reading books and you saw this illustration of that kingdom or that civilization. So I hope this video was useful and entertaining. Thank you again, Beyond Fantasy, for your suggestion. If you want to world build quickly, make those connections and communicate that information. Thank you for watching this video. If you have any comments or questions, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the super thanks button, like, subscribe, take a look at the information in the description, the pinned comment. This has been your host, once again, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, master roleplay and you will master the game. Once again, thank you and see you later.